Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Art of MMA. I'm your host, Mike Ginn. That's the mechanic, Brandon Cuttino, back in action for another week. Plenty to talk about this week. But first, you already know what it is. Check out FightersFirst.shop. Support the brand. As our boy Danhausen says, give us the monies. We love your support. We love your enthusiasm about the stuff we're putting out. And I do want to make a couple announcements real quick if you guys will bear with me. First and foremost, you can still get everything that we have now. The collections won't change, but March 15th, mark it on your calendars. I'm rolling out the spring summer collection for Fighters First. So we're going to have brand new, a lot of really cool retro stuff we're doing for the spring and summertime. So check that out. We'll have some for the fighters. We'll have some for just Fighters First and some of that cool stuff. Working on it now. And I know I've been promising March 15th, there will be a brand new Art of MMA shirt. So check that out. It is in the works. I'm kind of finalizing now. Y'all know I'm a perfectionist, so it is what it is. But March 15th, new stuff in FightersFirst.shop. That said, Brandon, welcome back to a new week. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Ready to talk some MMA with you.
Absolutely. We got some big stuff on the table. Of course, it is fight weekend coming up with Masvidal, Covington finally there. Rafael dos Anjos has a new opponent. We'll talk about that later on in our picks. I'm still the lead dog. Thank you very much. Brandon had a little bit of up and down week. Of course, I had another fight canceled right after we did the show. It is what it is. It's like if I pick a fight, might as well just go ahead and mark it off the card.
You should stop picking Hannah Goldie fights, because usually when you pick Hannah Goldie, that's when she doesn't fight anymore.
Angela Hill and Hannah Goldie fights. So it's like I should have stayed away from the lady fights. That's really what it is. Of course, we'll talk about the unfortunate situation going on with Cain Velasquez. That news breaking this week. We'll tell you what we know. And we'll try to leave some of the rumors out of it, but we will tell you what we know about the story. And then also, it looks like Cyborg Kavanagh 2 is happening. Why? We'll talk about that. We'll get the King of the Lady fights to break that one down. And then the fallout from the Russian invasion of Ukraine is affecting the combat sports world, boxing, and now MMA as well. So we'll talk about that. We won't really talk about the political side of it, but we will get into how it is affecting the sport. And then, of course, make our picks. Covington, Masvidal, and then we'll be out. But Brandon, last weekend, man, we had some really cool fights. Your boy Gegard Mousasi showed why he's one of the best middleweights in the world. Makhachev took quick care of Bobby Green. What were some of your highlights from last weekend?
Man, like we said last year with Kamaru Usman, man, we got to start putting some respect on Gegard Mousasi's name, man. The Moose is out there, man. Like saying, we do forget about him, but that's because he's a quiet guy. You know, he doesn't go out there really talking. You know what?
It's also because he's in Bellator.
Nah, man. Wait, see, this is why. See, I'm glad you said that. Because because
you know why people don't put respect on his name?
No, wait. Saying we're not putting respect on Gegard Mousasi's name, but we're putting respect on AJ McKee's name, on Pitbull's name, and now we're trying to have a debate about Corey Anderson and them.
You're debating about Corey Anderson. You can stop that. But, nobody put respect.
I'm just saying we're talking about them now, but we can't. But
how long did it take?
Forget about Mousasi.
How long did it take to get respect on Pitbull's name? There's still people that don't respect Pitbull.
He's always been in the mix. Pitbull's always been in the mix.
It wasn't until the last year or two I started hearing people talk about him, and that was mostly us. AJ McKee knocked off the top dog, so he got put up there. And he's also a lot more talkative person. AJ McKee's got a lot more character, a lot more charisma. Gegard Mousasi's quiet. He goes about his business, does what he has to do, goes home. He's beat a bunch of people in Bellator that wouldn't even be in the UFC rankings, really. Like John Salter was the number one fighter. Would he be in the top 5 in the UFC middleweight division?
He could beat some people in the middleweight division.
He could beat some people not in that top 5.
Wait. You don't think Salter could maybe out wrestle Derek Brunson?
No.
Come on.
No way.
You high on Brunson like that, man. Blonde Brunson out here, he got you drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh man. Come on, man. Whitaker would make short work of Salter.
No, but tell me, Whitaker or Mousasi, who you taking?
I think it'd be a fun fight.
Exactly. He didn't come out. It'd be a fun fight.
I'm not the casual fan. I'm a diehard fan who respects Gegard Mousasi. I've seen the work he's put in over the last, 15 years or whatever. Man, the dude's been a monster for a long time. He's got one loss since 2015, and that was against Lovato. And that was like a weird decision thing.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Lima. He beat Machida, though. It was Machida on the way down, but still he beat Machida. He beat an up-and-coming Austin Vanderford, Mr. Paige Van Zandt. He want to lose that title? Well, he's got to beat Mousasi or win a fight again because now he is permanently Mr. Paige Van Zandt. Mousasi's a beast. Look, we know that. But if you're comparing champions, you're not going to put him over Adesanya.
Say, man. Is he can be one, but hey, man, Mousasi's number 2 in my book.
Look, Mousasi's great. I love Mousasi. He's 49-7 for a reason. The dude's been putting in work for a very long time.
Man, I'm just saying.
You want to know why he doesn't get the respect?
Put some respect on my man's name. That's all I'm saying. Put some respect on his name.
He doesn't get respect because he's in Bellator.
Just like how we did Usman. Wait, man. We're gonna respect my guy, AJ McKee. We're gonna respect Corey Anderson and them.
Nobody respects Corey Anderson. Stop that.
No, because you know it, bro. When he wins, you're gonna be like, oh, that's the best light heavyweight because he's got that W over Glover still. Come on, man. You know what's happening. Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, but he got knocked out by Jan, who got knocked out by Glover.
But hey, he still beat Jan, though. He's 1-1 with Jan. He's 1-1.
Look, I'm not disrespecting Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson's a beast, too. But you know very well when it comes to the national media, the national spotlight.
What about Nemkov?
And we've talked. I love Nemkov, but look, we've talked about this. There is a problem with the way the media covers the sport, right?
Yeah, there is.
UFC and then everything else, right? We've talked about that. So when you want to talk about why people don't respect Gegard Mousasi, it's because he's not in the UFC any longer. And it's not his fault. He's putting in the work. It's not Bellator's fault. It's people like us.
Hey, man. Hey, Bellator has a great platform. They're on Showtime, man.
But hear me out.
That CBS love,
hear me out, though. It's not Bellator's fault.
They could put him out there a little bit.
He could, but it's not necessarily Bellator's fault either. It's the media's fault. Even AJ McKee doesn't get the coverage he deserves as one of the best featherweights in the world.
AJ McKee was at the Super Bowl on Media Row, though.
Yeah, because he did something cool and different. It wasn't because he was a Bellator fighter. It's because he's making a name for himself.
Bellator champ, baby. They were showing him some respect.
He's got 1 year. He's got that one fight left with Pitbull. He's going to do that rematch, and then he's out of Bellator. But that's a different topic for today. You keep talking about this fight weekends. We got sidetracked. Go ahead. Tell me about the Makhachev Bobby Green fight.
I just want to go back to the Bellator real quick, man. I'm kind of really shocked about the Kavanagh McCourt fight. Didn't see it going that way, especially with Kavanagh basically taking it to McCourt on the ground. Like I really thought on the ground McCourt would take it to her, and then plus 2, man, Kavanagh's injured with the knee, man. I don't know how much
she had to be carried out by Connor and her coach.
I'm saying I don't know how McCourt didn't really take advantage of that, but maybe because they do have a little friendly, I think they are like friendly with each other, so she didn't really want to go after it like that. But yeah, that just threw me off. But on the UFC side, Terrence McKinney, what?
Real quick, I got a question for the people at home. I have not been able to find an answer for this. Is there any relation between Sinead and John Kavanagh, the coach for SBG? That's where she trains.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, they just have the same last name. But maybe you snoops at home can let me know. Leave me a comment. I cannot find the answer to this. Is there any relation? Because it seems very, coincidental that two people, Kavanagh, spelled differently too as well, spelled the way they spell it, and is also at the same gym. So people at home, let me know. I'm sorry, Brandon. Go ahead and finish.
I was saying, man, it might be an Irish name out there,
I'm sure it's common, but it just seems you don't see too many Kavanaghs spelled without the U, and then on top of that, at the same gym. It's just anyway. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, but then on to the UFC, man. Terrence McKinney, and he was following up with his UFC debut. Did a good job. Took his guy down. Got a submission. Good fight on him. The Bobby Green. Makhachev main event. I mean, we all knew how it was going to go. I just took a flyer on Bobby Green. I kind of knew, his back was against the wall. I'm saying, but the good thing with Makhachev was he didn't waste time. Like usually sometimes he might take, like he kind of fills him out in the first round, maybe gets him out in the second or third. But here, man, first round, he just took him down, took care of business. He was like, yo, I'm trying to get in and out. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see what's next for him. We'll see if the UFC is going to save him for October with that Abu Dhabi card apparently going on. That's the rumor that they want to give him a title shot on that card. So we'll see what happens with him.
There's a lot of stories on the title shot, and a lot of people think because he threw his name in the hat to be a last-second replacement for Dos Anjos. Coincidentally, at a catchweight, just like they're doing with Marciano today or this weekend. but they didn't choose Makhachev. They chose to go with a different Renato. And a lot of people are wondering why, because Makhachev's been scheduled to fight Dos Anjos 3 times in the last year, and it just never happened. And the reason I think it is that Makhachev's people stepped in there and said, hey, this is a risk. You have a title shot pretty much coming. Yep. Settle the issues with Dos Anjos another day. Don't ruin this, because if you look bad against Dos Anjos, whether you win or lose, that can mess up his title shot. So they didn't do that, and then we were both wrong. Chikrinov had Turman.
I got you.
Had Turman, and then Turman got that armbar from the bottom, and it was over that quickly. I said it was a bad matchup. I'm sorry. I was wrong. In fairness, I was going to pick Turman against Vieira to begin with. So, I don't know. I get like a half point? No? Anyway. What else caught your eye on that UFC card?
Just bad judging on that Kim fight, man. Kim won that fight hands down. And just bad judging. And then, of course, something that I still never understand in MMA fights. The homegirl that won was just throwing nothing but elbows, punches, and kicks. But somehow she gets a jiu-jitsu belt after she wins. I never understand.
I've seen that a couple times.
Exactly. People win a fight by knockout, but then it's, hey, here's your jiu-jitsu black belt. Like, what? Doesn't make any sense.
Somebody got their brown belt in the middle of the UFC cage one time. And they had won by knockout. I can't remember who it was, though.
Exactly. Like, what's going on?
It was a guy, too. I think it was a welterweight.
Oh.
I'll remember right after the show. Once again, people, leave a comment. Tell me who I'm talking about. But man, yeah. And then your boy Petrosian, he got the split decision. That was another close, questionable one. Your boy Terrence McKinney got that rear naked choke in there. That was impressive because Ziem, like I said, is no joke. And then one that actually caught me surprised. I really didn't expect Jonathan Martinez to beat Alejandro Perez. Like I didn't think that was going to go down like that. So a couple good fights, good fight card as well. Any other thoughts this weekend before we move on to some subjects today?
I was going to say shout out to Brett Johns as well on the Bellator card, man. He looked good.
And now that reminds me of one other thing I was going to say. Nate Diaz. Before we move on to our subjects, Nate Diaz, how dare you? Like they're still working on the Poirier fight, obviously. And Dana said he would be shocked if they didn't have a Conor trilogy before they're done. Nate had the nerve to respond something along the lines that Conor needs to put together a few wins and get rid of those fragile legs or something before I fight him again. Nate, you've only won one fight since 2016, bro. And that was against Anthony Pettis. You lost to Edwards. You lost to Masvidal. You lost to Conor. Like one win in 5 years, 6 years. How are you going to talk about Conor doing the same thing? You want to talk about his broken leg? Fair game.
I'm like, bro, I'm like Nate Diaz. You don't even throw kicks anyway.
How are you going to talk about somebody else's wins or lack thereof if you haven't won a fight in 3 years? And then on top of that, only one fight in 6 years. Come on. At least Conor beat Cerrone in 2020, I believe. Come on. I can't with these dudes sometimes, man. I can't. All right, let's get into some subjects. Got a lot to talk about today. Man, right off the bat, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. On Monday, Cain Velasquez was arrested for attempted murder. Former UFC heavyweight champion, former WWE wrestler, AAA wrestler as well. Obviously most known for being the UFC heavyweight champion for a few years. One of the most dominant UFC champions as well. If it wasn't for injuries, who knows what Cain Velasquez's career could have really been. And it was special as it is. Daniel Cormier religiously would say that's the one dude he never wanted to fight because Cain would beat his ass in the gym all the time. So on Monday, he was arrested for attempted murder. He's been held without bail since then. He has a hearing as we're recording the show today on Wednesday. He has a hearing scheduled for noon local time, so Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. We'll find out more later. The expectation is that he will remain without bail in jail for some time. Here's what we know. Court documents have leaked. New York Post posted an article. Nobody knew if it was true or not, but people, of course, ran with it with the whole free Cain narrative. People are going to be fans of Cain. People are going to be friends of Cain. We understand. This is the MMA community. But here's what we do know. Morgan Hills, California is where the incident took place. It's right outside San Jose, right along the border of San Jose. There was a person, I won't say their name because they are still accused, not convicted, and I don't want to give that person any kind of notoriety. I don't want their name to be a household name. But there was a person accused of molesting a close relative of Cain Velasquez. We don't know if it was a son or daughter. We don't know if it was just a close relative. It's a minor under 14, so that information is not released. But well over 100 times, some reports up to 1,000 times, anytime one or more is way too much. I have a daughter. I understand. Cain pulled up to the person at an intersection in a car. There was 3 people in the car, including the accused, the stepdad, and another person. Cain opened fire, hit the stepdad, not the person accused. Cain is now being held without bail. We'll see how the rest of the situation plays out. As a father, let me tell you this. I've said it numerous times. If somebody hurts my daughter, I'm going to jail for a very long time. I understand where Cain is coming from, 110%. I will say the only problem with this story, Brandon, is that Cain hit the wrong person. There's 2 things I have to say about this. One, I understand where Cain's coming from. First and foremost, as a dad, whether it's my nephew, if something happened to my nephew, I'd probably do the same thing. My baby nephew. This child was at a daycare where you expect the kid to be protected. And the kid was not. Sexually assaulted many times. The second thing I would say is, as a trained fighter, I'm surprised, for one, that Cain didn't just beat the person that's accused within an inch of his life or kill that person. And he had to resort to a gun. Because when you fire a gun, anything can happen. And as this case, it hit the wrong person. Now Cain is in deeper trouble because from a legal point of view, he didn't hit the person accused, which there goes the rage theory. Like, he can't now claim rage and temporary insanity. And 2, the only way Cain avoids a very long sentence in this is A, that the person does recover. Currently, it's non-life-threatening injuries, so that's good for Cain. And 2, the person may eventually drop the charges against Cain based on the situation. That's best case scenario, Brandon. What have you heard on the whole situation, and what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I just heard kind of the same thing that you just said. I mean, hey, it's a sad incident. Like I said, the wrong person got shot. Or I mean, nobody really should get shot, but it's just bad. Like the guy's.
I'll stop you right there. If somebody does something to my daughter, they definitely deserve.
I mean, I'm saying just the dad got the dad got shot. So you're sorry to hear that, but you're just glad that it's not life threatening. And yeah, man, just it's just a sticky situation. Yeah,
it's tough for everybody involved, right? Because for one, the person is accused, right? We don't know for a fact what happened. Now, if it happened as many times people say, then it's pretty much without being convicted, But we don't know. As people at home, we don't know. We don't know the situation. 2, as a parent of somebody, and we saw this recently with a school shooting where the parents were in Michigan, where the parents were charged as well. You don't always know what your kids are doing, especially as young adults or whatever the case is, right? And I find it a very bad precedent when the parents are being held liable for what the kids do, right? Like, you don't go and arrest Charles Manson's parents for what Charles Manson did, right? Jeffrey Dahmer, all these crazy lunatic serial killers we've had throughout the years. Unfortunately, sometimes there's just bad kids that do bad things. And as a parent, sometimes you want to believe your kid if they say they're innocent, even no matter how guilty they are. So I don't know if the stepfather was complicit. I don't know if the stepfather knew what was going on, or I don't know if the stepfather was completely ignorant to the whole situation. But I do know from a legal standpoint, he was the one that got hit. And that's bad for Cain. Because if the person who had gotten hit was the person being accused, then that's a whole different set of circumstances that Cain could eventually get a lighter sentence for. Unfortunately, Cain did result to something that unfortunately is going to get him in trouble. Like, he's going to serve some time for this. The only chance he has is if the other person drops the charges. That's the only chance. I feel bad for Cain as a father. I know I would have done the exact same thing Cain did. And that's not a joking situation. That's dead serious. So I think many people understand Cain. I see the free Cain narrative, but unfortunately, Cain did hit the wrong person. And that's just the factual base of it. So we'll find out today at the hearing what's going to happen. I'm sure the story will continue to evolve. Man, it's just a tough situation for everybody. Cain's family, the other family. It's just a tough situation. Now that that's out of the way, Brandon, let's go to something you're a little more familiar with. Chris Cyborg, Sinead Kavanagh too. Scott Coker came out, said that's the fight they're going to make when Kavanagh's healthy. He recovers from the injury. That's the fight that's going to be made. That throws in so many questions, Brandon. Because just a few weeks ago, we found out it was going to be Zingano versus Sorensen. This week, Zingano gets hurt. She's out for that fight as well. It throws me into a number of names. Look, no disrespect to Kavanagh. She looked decent against McCourt, but Kavanagh got brutalized by Cyborg. Like, Cyborg beat the crap out of this girl. Why would you give her a rematch? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that Chris Cyborg, she was thrown off as well when she found out that it was Kavanagh. I think originally she thought that it was going to be Arlene Blanco was going to get the rematch.
That's what I was going to go after this. I was like, why not Arlene? She's been on a winning streak. The only fight she lost was Cyborg.
Yeah, I mean, I know she lost Cyborg, but I feel like she kind of did the same thing as Kavanagh. Like, didn't she just have just one fight as well?
She's won a couple. She won two.
Won two? All right. Because I know she had the didn't she just fight? Didn't she just fight Pam Sorensen herself?
Yeah, she beat Sorensen and then she knocked out Silva.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, all right. So yeah, there's two fights. So I mean, I don't know if maybe Kavanagh is
she's the number one ranked.
I mean, I don't know if Kavanagh is maybe easier to get to because she's in Ireland. While like in Australia where Blanco was from, they usually kind of been going through their lockdowns and stuff like that. So maybe Kavanagh could be easier to fly into the States or wherever they're gonna have the fight at. But then again, like you said, Kavanagh just got hurt, so you really don't know how long she's gonna be out for. So in reality, I mean, Blanco still could get the title shot. I just don't really know what Scott Coker and them were thinking, and neither does Chris Cyborg. I just know that Chris Cyborg has one more fight left on her contract. She's gonna get this fight done, and then she'll be a free agent, and then we'll see what happens if she'll re-sign with Bellator or if the PFL might try to fork over that money and try to have her go smash Kayla Harrison.
So here's the thing. One, we don't know how long Kavanagh is going to be out with that knee injury. If it's a torn ACL or something like that, that's a year. Obviously, Cyborg's not going to wait for that. Number two, if you have somebody waiting on an injury, wouldn't that be any different than waiting on Arlene to come back from Australia? She got kind of screwed over in the first fight with Cyborg because she didn't have a real camp. She didn't have all her coaches with her. She had only went out to Jackson's for like a week, and then it was fight time. Excuse me. Three, we don't know what's up with Kat Zingano. She kept calling for the Cyborg fight, then she got it, and then she got weird about it. She wanted another fight first, and then all of a sudden she got this mysterious injury that nobody's disclosing. I don't know what's up with Kat Zingano. She's had a history of dealing with some tough things in life, so I'm not going to presume what's going on with her right now. But she's kind of disappeared off the radar. And then the last name, you kind of hinted at it when you said PFL. Kayla Harrison was about to get signed by Bellator. PFL, I guess, had the right to match the contract, and they did. So Kayla Harrison this week is going to be re-signing with PFL because they matched the contract. Mm-hmm. She was about to sign to go fight Cyborg. So much so that she's mad about the situation because she really wanted to fight Cyborg. That said, she's invited Cyborg to go fight at her gym. She's like, here's the address to Coconut Creek, AT&T. Show up anytime you want. Let's get this. Because Cyborg did the whole shaking head emoji or whatever at Kayla re-signing with PFL. Kayla evidently had no say in the whole thing. I guess PFL was going to match that contract the whole time, unless one of the promotions threw just an absurd amount of money at her. That said, we may never see this fight now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, man, it's kind of like the featherweight division in the UFC. Who's left, right? Cyborgs ran through what they've got.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I think Arlene Blencow deserves the opportunity because she didn't have a real camp the first time. And Cyborg didn't knock her out. She actually tapped her out, which was crazy. It was like the first sub of Cyborg's career or something like that. But,
like we said last week, man. Like you said, I really think if Leah McCourt would have won that fight, she would have got the title shot. But since she didn't, they went with Kavanagh instead.
Yeah, it might have been a contender, a number one contenders fight that they just didn't know it was listed as that. But I agreed with you then too, because of Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano disappeared. That was the fight. Now
that was the fight, and then she wanted one more fight, or at least that's what her management apparently said, because that's what Scott Coker said, and she was going to fight Pam Sorensen, but now that fight's out, she's injured, so you gotta see what's happening. Like I said,
Cyborg's not going to wait forever. She's not getting any younger.
I mean, hey, man, there's not many women. There's not many women that really fight at 145. You know, like that's one of those divisions where there's not many people at. Like you look at light heavyweight these days. You know, 205. Like back in the day, that used to be the division, but now 205 is kind of scarce. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully for Cyborg, she gets a fight sooner than later. She said she wanted something by March, and it's already March now. I can't imagine her waiting much longer.
Yeah.
That could be an issue. And then she also has talked about boxing. So maybe Scott finally lets her go box a fight before coming back to finish out the contract with Bellator. I don't know. That's another theory as well.
I mean, you would think that they could, man, because they can make money off of that. Because like I said, they're on Showtime. Showtime does boxing. So
yeah, there's lots of opportunity in the boxing world, especially right now. It's getting hot again, even with women's boxing. So something to keep an eye on.
But in my head, man, who could she even fight, man, at her weight? Like, I mean, I'm sure she probably would have no problem going into like the 150s, but I don't know. Would she maybe dance with Clarissa Shields if that's something that they would want?
I can see that. And also, I throw out one other thing you haven't that nobody's talking about. Holly Holm is clearly contracted to the UFC, but she's expressed interest in doing a couple more boxing fights before her career is over. If Cyborg and Holly Holm wanted to match up, it wouldn't be in MMA, it'd be in boxing, so they may allow that to happen. Just a thought. Anyway, let's move on. The fallout from the Russian-Ukraine conflict has reached MMA. Here's another story that's kind of unfortunate to talk about. I can't speak for other people. I'll speak for myself. Definitely my thoughts and prayers are with the Ukrainian people right now. You never want a sovereign nation to get invaded by another nation for whatever reason. The situation politically is what it is. There's nothing that we can control here. But it has had a ripple effect on all of combat sports, Brandon. So if you look at it, a number of notable Ukrainian fighters have now gone back to the front lines. And not just active fighters. We're talking about Hall of Famers like the Klitschko brothers. Vladimir is actually signed up not too long ago. Vitaly is actually the mayor of Kyiv. I don't know if a lot of people knew that. He's actually the mayor. Both of them have suited up. They're fighting. Usyk just went back as well. Lomachenko has gone back. And then you're talking about even soccer stars like Luzhny. And now you have Bellator champ Amasov. He is now fighting for the Ukrainian military. So his fights this summer are pretty much off because he's now over fighting for his country. And then on the UFC side of things, Russian fighters who are supposed to fight in the London card like Volkov, his visa's in jeopardy because the prime minister of the UK has already told the Belarus, I believe their basketball team or something, that they couldn't come and play in Newcastle this weekend because they're supporting the conflict. There's a good chance that this London card might get thrown up. What's your take on all this going on right now?
Hey, man, it's definitely sad to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely with the, the country of Ukraine as well. You know, like I said, it's just whole crazy going on about holding some fights up. Like I said, we talked about the London card where the main event was maybe in jeopardy because of visas and everything going on. You know, with Russia. But then again, you see Ukrainian fighters going back to their motherland, to help protect it. Like you looked at the Bellator champ, he went back. you just kind of hope that nothing bad happens to those guys because, like I said, like, we enjoy watching them compete. We enjoy watching them fight. So you don't want anything where maybe their career is ended because they get an injury. It's like back in the day of World War II, where the professional baseball players, where they left, to
Williams and everybody,
So like I said, man, I definitely stand with with Ukraine. But like I said, we just hope that things can get resolved soon.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's affecting the sports world as most major wars do, right? I mean, it's not obscene like we knew it was possible. Amosov was scheduled to fight MVP in May. That fight is clearly now probably not going to happen unless things resolve pretty quickly and he comes back to training. First and foremost, we hope him, all the other fighters, but also all the citizens of Ukraine are safe because this is an invasion. It's not like their choice. They're not going to war. They're not fighting on Russian soil. It's Russia coming to them. The Hall of Famers like the Klitschko brothers, Lomachenko was scheduled to fight pretty soon. Obviously, you have even Russian fighters like Volkov. Volkov put out a statement, or his people put out a statement saying the visa had been issued. All will depend on any new sanctions, but at this moment, this is all unimportant as our thoughts are with the people dying in Ukraine on both sides. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. Trying to stay kind of politically correct with that statement on both sides, as he is a Russian who lives in Moscow. A lot of Russian athletes have come out trying to stop the war, saying that they don't want this. This is going to have a ripple effect, not just in MMA, but all the sports world and the world entirely. I mean, I've said before, I'll say it again. I think this might be, sadly, the pebble that, the stone that started the domino effect to maybe World War III. So I'm very terrified of this. I hope it works itself out sooner than later and calmer heads can prevail, but it doesn't look like it. And I think it's just going to be the beginning of a lot of, as far as the MMA world goes, I think it's going to be the beginning of a lot of changes. So unfortunately, any last thoughts on that, Brandon?
No, man, just like I say, just hope everything gets resolved soon.
Yeah. All right. Your lead dog is back in action, Brandon. I've been able to hold this title now. It is officially March. I feel good. We have missed a couple episodes, so it's kind of helped as well. I only have one win up on you in the win column, but you got quite a few more losses thanks to my fight cancellations. Mm-hmm. My winning percentage looks a lot better than his also as well. But you'll see that in the show notes. Check the description. You know who the lead dog is. You ready to make some picks for this UFC 272 card coming up?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, I know it's a little hard to get pumped up after the conversations we've just had with Cain Velasquez and Russia and Ukraine. But you know what? We have our own grudge match right here in the United States to take a look at. That's been epic. It's been brewing for years. We're talking about Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, former friends turned enemies. A lot of the back and forth has been going on for quite a while. It's all coming to a boil on Saturday night. Brandon, who you got in this fight, and tell us why?
All right, I'm going with Game Bread, man. Just he's down for a fight.
Stop picking my fighters.
Hey, man, I'm going with Game Bread. Like I said, man, I mean, we definitely know he's the better striker of the two. Like I said, but he is versatile, man. Like, he does have submissions. He does have jiu-jitsu. He definitely has been working on his wrestling. Like I said, I still think Colby Covington might be the better wrestler. But even if he goes down, I think he could get caught with by a submission, or Masvidal can be able to get back up. Like I said, Covington's going to try to come in, pressure, and try to throw some whopping hands, but I think that's when maybe he could get caught.
I'm calling Ben Askren too. I think Jorge Masvidal is going to knock him out. I think Covington is either going to do one of two things. He's either going to just try to wrestle and smother him for 5 rounds, and not take any risks, or he's going to try to prove his bravado and go toe-to-toe with Masvidal. And if he does that, you saw it with Usman. Usman almost got knocked out by Masvidal too when he tried to go toe-to-toe. It wasn't until he mixed in the wrestling that he dominated Masvidal. And then, of course, the second fight, he had the big knockout. But Covington, no doubt, has the better pedigree with wrestling. We know that. But so does Masvidal. Masvidal's trained with this dude forever. Masvidal knows all his tendencies. He knows what he likes to do. He knows the people over at MMA Masters training with him. Hell, he said they're about to kick him out of the gym too. I think nobody knows Covington like Masvidal does. And in that case, I think Jorge Masvidal knows exactly how to beat his ass. And I think Covington's looking for that payday, but Covington, it probably knows he's going to get his ass whooped in this fight. So I think as long as Jorge kind of keeps his cool and doesn't go too hard, too fast, and make a mistake, I think it's going to be Masvidal's fight. I know a lot of people are picking Covington, but both Brandon and I are on Jorge Masvidal. The co-main event finally came together. A lot of back and forth. The original opponent for Rafael dos Anjos was Fiziev. He fell out because he got COVID. So now in comes Mociano. Who you got in this fight?
I'm rocking with RDA. I was going to rock with RDA in the beginning anyway against Fiziev. Saying, man, just RDA, man, dude, he's like Jorge Masvidal, man. He's just game for this stuff, man. He's a fighter. Don't matter what weight class it is, he comes, he brings it. Saying he's a former champion. I just think he has the experience, and like I said, he has wrestling, he has striking, he has submissions. I think he has it all. I think he'll get a W on Saturday.
Well, there's no catching up with me this week, Brandon, because I'm picking RDA as well. I was going to pick him also in the same fight. People forget 155 pounds, former champion. He's one of only a handful of people who can say that. Pretty much him and Connor. Like that's the only ones really left, unless you want to count the interim title with Poirier. But him and Connor are the only dudes in that top 10 that have the former title, and almost all of Dos Anjos' losses in the last few years have been at welterweight. Came back, had a classic with Paul Felder. He's been waiting for a fight. He had 3 fights lined up with Makhachev, never happened. That's another reason why I'm not so sold on the whole Makhachev getting the next title fight. Dos Anjos goes and knocks out Mociano in the first round. Then how do you not put him and Makhachev together, waiting for the results of Oliveira and Gaethje this summer? So do they both want to just sit there and wait? Neither one of them really likes to wait that much. And they've already waited a lot because of the fights being canceled the last year. So I think Dos Anjos wins this, and I think we do see Dos Anjos versus Makhachev before we see either one of them getting a title shot. A lot of stat card, Brandon. We got Barboza Mitchell. We got Kevin Holland Oliveira. We got Jalen Turner versus Malarkey, who I think could be fight of the night. Rodriguez and Yan. Moroz and Agapova, Kelleher and Nurmagomedov, Elliott and Alan Beckhoff, your boy Justin Jacoby. Who is your fight pick tonight or Saturday night to keep their eye on?
And you just said his name, man. Dustin Jacoby, man. Got to go with my fellow kickbox. Used to rock.
You can't pick that fight unless you can say his opponent's name.
And well, isn't it Olejisk? Wait, I forgot. I was just looking at it.
I think it's Olezek. Oleg.
Yeah,
Oleksichuk. I think it's Oleksichuk.
Is it Chuck or is it Juk? Because of the J.
Chuck. I think it's Oleksichuk. I had it earlier. I had listened to somebody saying it, and then I started thinking about it and messed it up in my mind. I think it's Oleksichuk.
Gotcha.
But that's it. Go ahead and pick your fight.
No, that's it. I'm going with Dustin Jacoby. I'm just gonna rock out with him, man. He's on a nice tear. I think he's gonna continue his winning streak. And after he gets this W, I think he'll get a top 15 opponent.
I can see that. I also can see Oleksichuk getting this win because he's been on a tear too. So that's the fact that this is the first fight of the night in the early prelims is crazy to me because it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. My fight is on the main card. Kevin Holland versus Oliveira. I think this is the fight to get Kevin Holland right. It's a perfect matchup for him. He doesn't struggle with jiu-jitsu guys. He struggles with wrestlers. Alex Oliveira has the ability to tap him out, but likes to bang as well. Guess what? Kevin Holland has the ability to tap somebody out. He's done grappling tournaments and other stuff. He lost, but he's done them. He's a striker, though, and if Oliveira stands and goes toe-to-toe with Kevin Holland, he's going to get knocked out. I think this is a perfect matchup for Kevin Holland to get his confidence back, get back on the winning trail to make some more bigger fights, and I think it's a good matchup for him. Don't really know what to expect out of Oliveira because he can do a little of everything, but the one thing he's not great at is wrestling, and that's only Kevin Holland's weakness. So I think this is going to be a good fight for Kevin Holland. Before we get out of here today, any other fights on this card kind of stand out to you?
Yeah, man, you know that Edson Barboza Bryce Mitchell fight I got my eye on for sure. Bryce Mitchell undefeated fighter. This is really a step up in competition for him. He did have the Andre Fili fight, but Edson Barboza's
been a while too.
Huh?
It's been a while since that Fili fight too. He's been out of action for a while.
Yep.
He's been too busy worried about conspiracy theories and government invasions.
Tell me, man, he's been making out a rap album. What are you talking about, man? He's spitting bars, bro.
He went on Ariel's show. Ariel went to ask him about the fight, and he talked about everything but the fight.
Exactly. Hey, man, that's what he wanted to do with his time. But hey, man, he's still putting out rap albums and stuff like that. So
Thug Nasty
it should be a good fight. You know, it's the the striker versus grappler matchup. So we shall see who gets the W. But I'm looking forward to that fight though.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good matchup for Barboza, but I always, Barboza always has a striker's chance. He always has a chance to end the fight quick. So, and like I said, I think that Jalen Turner Malarkey fight is going to be fight of the night. Those guys both bring it. They both have the ability to end a fight. It's going to be a fun fight. And Marina Rodriguez versus Jan isn't even on the main card. Like, that's crazy. So that's going to be a great fight as too. I thought Marina Rodriguez would probably be in line for a title fight by now, but they're talking about a lot of different things. I want to say they just set up Valentina versus that's 125. Never mind. 115. She's waiting on Rose. So we'll see. A lot of fun stuff to work out. Do us a favor, leave a comment. Let us know what you think is going to happen Saturday night. Who's going to win? Masvidal, Covington. Let us know. We won't roast you too bad. Trust me, I get roasted all the time by Brandon. I can handle it. It's okay. He thinks he gets to me, but I'm cool. I'm tough. I got this. Anyway, finally got Brandon to laugh. It took all episode, but we finally did it. Sometimes I can't with this dude. Sometimes I can't. A lot of great stuff happening over on Fighters First. Check out the shop, fightersfirst.shop. Get the Mechanic Collection. It will be there after March 15th, and it might even have a couple of new additions that we're going to be working on. Like I said, March 15th, I'm going to roll out some new retro stuff, not just for the signature lines, but also some of the fighters. Working on some deals, trying to bring in new fighters as well. Like I said, recently we added Shedrick Chocolate Thunder Goodrich to the team. Obviously got the Mechanic. We got Alex Soto. Got our boxer, Justin Rolfe, in action on March 19th. And then we're talking a lot of wrestlers, too. We got the British Bulldogs, talking to some more Hall of Famers as well. So we're trying to bring in a lot of that, trying to get that action going. So check it out, fightersfirst.shop. Brandon, any final thoughts this week?
No, man, just looking forward to some good fights on Saturday. Hopefully the pay-per-view won't disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of ability to be a letdown because it's so much hype, but I don't think this one will disappoint. I think no matter what, I honestly, I hope they start fighting on the way to the cage. I hope they don't even wait to the cage. Just go ahead and start fighting in the aisles. Make it like a wrestling street fight. Just let them go all over the damn arena. Last man standing. Just change it up. Forget the rules. Just throw them out the no holds barred. We'll let you know next week if we know any more on the Cain Velasquez situation. I'm sure that story will keep evolving, obviously, as the Russian invasion of Ukraine does as well. We just wanted to touch on some of those tough subjects, get them out in the open, and let people talk about them because they're not going anywhere and they need to be talked about. So leave a comment. As always, follow us on at Fighters First on Twitter. I may purposely be switching over a lot of our content from Art of MMA only to Fighters First to kind of save the confusion from going different places to like our content. But for now, you can obviously find it in both Fighters First and Art of MMA. All those links are in the description in the show notes. That's a wrap for this week. I'm Mike Ginn. That's the Mechanic, Brandon Cuttino. Will he catch me this week in the win column? There's only one fight difference. We'll see. This is Art of MMA, and we're out.